वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह. A very warm welcome to entire Sangat in today's talk. Last week we discussed about life and death. Previously we talked about physical death more. We were more focused on physical death as everyone is going to die, which is for sure. In our life, we have desires of so many things, but still we are not able to get all those things. We want so many things, but we don't get all. But death is one that we never want, but still it comes to us. In another way, we want so many things that we don't get, but death is the one that we do not want. We never asked for it, we don't pray for it, we don't try to get it. We try to get long and long life, but we never want to die. But still, this is ultimate truth. It happens. Death always happens, although we want or not. So physically, death is happening naturally, automatically. But as if we see the death of our vices, our ego, so this is a different thing. So we'll try to cover another things, other aspects of life and death as well. We'll try to begin with the story with the Sakhi of Shri Guru Nanak Sahib Ji. Guru Nanak Sahib Ji, at the time of his first Udasi, he went to Lahore. In Lahore, Guruji met with one of the, or we can say the most richest person of Lahore, Dunichat. He was taking care of all the sages and saints, whoever were visiting to his place or visiting in his area. He had so much proud on his wealth and all other things. He asked Guruji, "Do you want a favor from me?" This is what happens in our life naturally when we don't realize sometimes what we are saying. Guruji gave him a needle. एक सुई दे देना है. Needle, Guruji gave it to Dunichand and said, "Keep it with you. I'll take it from you in the next life or after I die or after you die. Wherever you go, you can bring it with you. I'll take it from you." He said, "All right." He went to his house and asked his wife and said, "Just keep this needle in a safe. I met with the saint. He said he will take it from me after my death." Then his wife smiled and said, "Are you fool? How will you bring it with you after your death? Physically, things will stay here. You cannot bring it." Then he just realized the promise is not possible to fulfill. The promise he gave, it's not possible to fill. So there is one another way. We cannot bring everything or we cannot take all those things with us. So here everyone is going to die, although Kabirji is mentioning, Kabir, marta marta jag mua, mar pe na jana koi. Everyone is dying. According to last year's report, they say almost like world death clocks counting, it says almost 55 million people dies in 1 year on average, according to this world death clock calculations. In every second, people are dying. And Kabirji is mentioning, Kabir, Marta Marta Jagmua Marpe na jana koi. Everyone is dying, but still we don't know how to die. Now it's like a question. And then Kabirji says, Aisi marni jo mare bahar na marna hoy. If you know and if you can die in this way, then you will not die, okay? You will not face any problems. Now, no one knows. And if you can die in this way, if we read this line, if we read this pankti again and again, then one question arises in our mind. Aisi marni jo mare, aisi marni jo mare. Then first thing is, what kind of death? What is that death? So there are two things. One, we are going to die physically, and another thing, spiritually, we are already died, or we need to take birth, or we need to take care of our values and virtues. Symptoms, if we talk about just physical death, then there are so many symptoms. We'll not able to take more breath, heart will stop, but heartbeat also doesn't stop immediately. It takes almost 60 minutes. The first thing which stops is our brain. It takes few minutes, and according to science, almost 1 hour it takes, like for heart and kidney and liver, it takes almost 1 hour. And our skin is not dead even after a day. So still there are some symptoms. By looking on those symptoms, we can say, or we come to know, is a person alive or not. Not able to breathe, cannot walk, all body parts stops working is slowly, and few more. Now we are talking about our spiritual death, internal death. If there are few symptoms of our physical death, then there are some symptoms. Are we spiritually alive or not? That's life and death we are talking about. So not just about body, spiritual, internal, our mind, our values. Then there are some symptoms of spiritual death as well. From that we can recognize, yes, are we alive or not? One example from Guru Arjan Sahib Ji, and another example is from Bhagat Kabir Ji. Two examples with the help of Guru Arjan Sahib and Bhagat Kabir Ji. We'll try to understand what are those symptoms. Are we spiritually alive or dead? It's possible to know from the symptoms. So Guru Arjan Sahib Ji, fifth Guru, is telling us, At Sundar Kuleen Chatur. At is highest word in Punjabi, we can say in praise. In English, we have different words like he's handsome, very handsome. So we have different kind of words. With those, we just try to make it or emphasis more and more on the word. At is highest word. At da sona means like there is no better word than that. Like and height of goodness. No better word than at, highest. So At Sundar, he's so handsome or beautiful, very beautiful, or we may say like the most beautiful person of the world. Kuleen means kul means caste. Kuleen, highest caste, respectful family. In terms of caste, in terms of wealth, people are just respecting them. Now also there are many families which are like few of them are world famous because of their health, like Ambani, Adani, and many more, Walter family. So Kuleen. At Sundar, Kuleen. If a person most beautiful, most handsome, Kuleen belongs to highest caste, most respectful person in the society. Chatur, intelligent, beauty with brain, because it's one of the most rarest combination. Some people are very smart enough, intelligent enough, but maybe not that much handsome. But Guruji used word at highest stage. In the beauty is on the topmost. Kuleen, most respectful family or person. Chatur, most intelligent person. Mukh yani tanvant, yani is so knowledgeable. Not only intelligent, very knowledgeable. Tanvant, wealthy. Some people are able to attain wealth but not respect. Sometimes some people have a lot of money but people don't respect, like maybe they are robbers or not doing some good stuff in for the society, and sometimes we are able to earn wealth but not respect from the another people or society. So many examples in just few words. Most handsome, highest respectful family, very intelligent, so knowledgeable, and the richest person. We'll say, like maybe for us it's like a dream life, might be for many of us, but in the from the point of view of Guru Arjan Sahib Ji, he's telling Mirtak kahiye nanka. For me, he's a dead person, he's a dead man. This kind of person people are respecting. So rich, intelligent, he knows a lot of things about religion and about society and all other things, but still, even after all those things, maybe we are able to see him, he's walking and running and doing a lot of things. From our point of view, he's alive. But Guru Arjan Sahib is saying, physically maybe he's alive, but actually he's a dead man. Mirtak kahiye nanka jeh preet. Preet means love. Nahi Bhagwant. Bhagwant, Lord God. So if you don't have love for Lord, if you forgot God, Guru Arjan Sahib Ji saying, from Guruji's point of view, he's a dead man, dead person, spiritually dead. If you forgot Lord, even after getting each and everything in the world, in the society, mirtak kahiye hai nanka, jeh preet nahi Bhagwant. If we don't have love for Lord, as every creation, the entire creation is God's creation. If we don't spread love in the humanity, we don't love his family, he forgot his family, his responsibilities, he forgot Lord, humanity. He just focused on one thing. Then Guru Arjan Sahib is saying, from his point of view, from Guruji's, he is a dead man. Then few more symptoms Kabir ji is telling us. Kabir ji is telling us, कबीर जाकर साधन सेविय है, हर की सेवा नाहे, ते कर मरहठ सारखे पूत बस है, तिन माहे. Now who is dead? And opposite to that, which means we are spiritually alive, if we have some love, if we have some faith, if we are taking care of our responsibilities, if we are walking or trying to walk on the path of Almighty, which means we are still alive. Kabir, जाकर साध न सेविय है, हर की सेवा ना. In 2 lines, Kabir ji mentioned a lot of things. It needs time to understand and walk according to these lines. Very deep meaning. Kabir, जाकर साधना सेव्य है. In any house, doesn't matter rich or poor, fortunate, or even if we don't have much money. Kabir जाकर any house, साध न सेव्य है, हर की सेवा न है, which means sadhana sevya, the one who is walking on his path, the one who is trying to attach with the Lord, we can call any sage, saint, gurmukh pyare, gursikh. Har ki seva na hai. In any house or family, if they are not serving to gurmukh, to saint or sage, which means the one who is walking on the path of Almighty, har ki seva na hai, or they don't do any kind of any service for Lord. Service for Lord is which dunya sev kamaye ta dargah basan paye. Service for Lord is serving Lord's creation. Because service, we can give service to one who is weaker than us, not the strongest one than us. So what we need to do, God is doing service for us, like giving us free air, free light, this sun and water and unlimited things actually. So how do we need to do service, perform service in this world? By serving humanity, by serving to the less fortunate people or anyone, like to the creation of Lord, we can say. So Kabir जाकर साधना सेव्य, if in any house they don't have time to serve Gursikh pyare or har ki seva na hai, or any work which can help in the service of Lord, which means helping in his creation, te kar marhat sa rakhe. Little bit hard word we may feel, but actually these are not. It's just Kabirji is telling us, they just want us to wake up. It's a precious life. Te kar marhat. Marhat means cremation ground. In Punjabi we say shamshan ghat. Very strong word. Te kar marhat sa rakhe, poot basai tin mahe. The people, those who are living in that kind of house, which is Kabirji's words, which are mentioned in Guru Granth Sahib. Te kar marhat sa rakhe, poot basai, poot ghost, demons, basai tin mahe. So that house is for me like a cremation ground, like Samshan Ghat, Poot Basat and Mahe. So those who are living in that house, they are like ghosts to me. They are like ghosts. They are dead. They're no more alive. So according Guru Arjan Sahib Ji told us, even if you have all those things in the society, but if you forgot lots of in religious way, in the spiritual life, we are dead. And according to Kabirji, if we don't serve Gursikh pyare, Sadh, the one who is walking on his path, we are not kind to him, we are not helping him in any way, or har ki seva, so then we are dead. Now we just need to think about it. Are we following? Are we working on these things? Or in the eyes of Guruji's, of according to Gurbani, are we dead or alive? We need to think about it. Now, so first point, aisi marni jo mare, if we can die in this way. So now we just understood about death. This is a death, spiritual or physically. Before we die physically, we need to be alive spiritually. Or we can say in spiritual way, we are like a dead person, but these breaths, this life is an opportunity, then we can wake up. So aisi marni, if we can die in this way, now which way? The next question arises, who will help us to die in that way? Sadh Sangat. Kabir जाकर साधना सेविए, साध सेविए, साधुआं दी संगत, in good company. बारह वरह गर्भास वस जमदे ही सुख लय उदासी. This pankti of Bhai Gurdas Ji is very important. Sometimes we are not able to understand what Bhai Gurdas Ji is telling us in this pankti. If we just think in according to our interpretation, and one more thing we need to make sure and we need to understand that we are not able to get the real interpretation of Gurbani. What is the exact interpretation is only Guruji knows. We are just trying to understand. So, Bare Vare Garbhaswas. So, which means after staying in the womb for 12 years. Now, if we think according to this world, then we will able to say, or we can say, it's not possible nowadays. Like 12 months pregnancy for a lady. How will she live? How will she live? It's so difficult. But it's mentioned in Gurbani. 12 vare garbhas was 12 years of pregnancy. After staying for 12 years in a womb. Even if we look at animals, those who have the highest, or we can say longest pregnancy time is elephant. It goes up to 18 to 22 months, almost 2 years. This is the highest. And then 16 days, 19 days, and like for small animals like rat, mouse, they just pregnant for 19 to 21 days. But maximum 22 months is of an elephant. But Bhai Gurdas Ji is saying, 12 vare garbhasavas, 12 years of pregnancy in the garab, jamde hi suklaye udasi. Now this is Bhai Gurdas Ji is telling us about Sukh. Sukh was a son of Ved Vyas, whose son name was Sukhdev. So he is mentioning his name here. So 12 varas garbhasvas jamde hi suklay udasi. After 12 years, he was udas, means he was just concentrated or able to concentrate on himself. Now it means Sad Sangat. Garb is Sad Sangat for spiritual life. Physically life is different. Spiritually life, as we just discussed about few points, like are we alive or not? Then how can we be alive if we are not? If we are not spiritually alive, then how can we be? Then we need Sad Sangat, and there is no specific time. Even if we can see the same thing in third Guru's life. He came to second Guru at the age of 62. He became Guru in Sikhism at the age of 74. So 12 baras garbhasala means spiritually life may take some time. It's not about 12 years physical body, but for the spiritual life. So Chamde hi suklay udasi, here also they're mentioning about Sad Sangat. Maybe we are coming to Gurdwara doing Satsangat. It may be like 1 month, 1 year, 5 years, because it's not specific time. All other creations have specific time for the physical body. For humans, it's like 8 to 10 months, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months up to, or sometimes it's like early, in case like 7 months, something. Specific time. But here it's depends on sometimes dedication and moreover on his grace. Some beautiful things that we cannot attain with our efforts only. We need grace. So 12 baras garbhasavas jamde hi suklaye udasi, which means Guru Granth Sahib Ji's Bani is explaining Satgur ke janme gavan mitaya, which means Satgur ke janme. As a saint, we are born now, which means we are one with the Lord. It may take some time and not specific time. Bhai Gurdas ji mentioned about Sukhdev, like he took 12 years to reach to that position. Second Guru, Guru Angad Sahib ji, earlier he was Pai Lehna. He was in service of Guru Nanak Sahib ji for 7 years. And then third Guru ji was in service for 12 years. And Pai Jetha ji was more longer than that. So not specific time, but we need to surrender ourselves. Then only it's possible. And before that, we need to realize, like, where are we? And if we are able to take birth in the house of Lord, spiritually, physically, why we attain, we got this life, what is the purpose of life? This is actually purpose of the life. Before we die, before we take our last breath, we need to be one with the Lord. For the values, for the virtues, we need to imbibe those things. We need to be practical. And it's not just about physically we are just able to maintain it. It's about killing our eradicating our egos, lust, and it's not an easy task. So we just need to perform our duty, responsibility, and pray to Lord. Satguru ke jan mein gavan mithaya. Then only it is possible actually. If we are able to reach to that position, and death is always tomorrow. We will die tomorrow. We are living right now. Life is present. Death is future. Life is today. Death is tomorrow. But tomorrow is a son of today. Today is a mother. Tomorrow is a son. Today is a seed. Tomorrow is a fruit. Today is life. Tomorrow is death. So whatever I am doing now, according to that, my death will come. Even just by looking at the last time or by reading the death of someone, we can recognize, we can feel, or we'll able to know how he lived his life. I'll just share just like one example by Mani Singh. Third Guru, Guru Amar Das Ji is telling us how to die. And if we don't forget Lord, then what will happen? Kya jana, kab marenge, how will we die? We don't know. Kaisa marna ho? How? When? What will happen? We don't know. But one thing is sure. J means condition. There is a condition. If is there. If Sahib manho na visra. If we don't forget Lord, merged with Him, one with the Lord, ta sahla marna hue, then your death will be easy. You will die peacefully. Now, it's not like socially we'll able to get so much recognition. On the screen, we can see by Mani Singh. He was a head priest in Harmandir Sahib at his time. In his last time, ruler, he cut his fingers, like one finger into 3 parts, like his body was cut into pieces. Still he was smiling. So the one, Jekar Sahib Manho na Visre, the one who don't forget Lord, even if he's getting boiled in a hot water, or he's sitting on the hot plate, or his fingers are cutting into different parts, his body people are cutting, still he can smile and die peacefully. So jekar sahib manho na visre ta sehla marna hoye, then only it's possible to die with a smiling face, with a peacefully, if in the life we'll able to live life in the light of Gurbani, take care of values, we can walk on the path of Almighty, and if we can be one with the Lord, this is a future. And this is what we need to practice. Physically death, even if we want to stop, it will not happen. But spiritually life, we need to put some efforts, then only we'll able to live in that way. So today we talked about physical death, which is going to happen automatically even if we don't try. Spiritually death is already there. We need to be alive. We need to go through, are we spiritually dead or we alive in the light of Gurbani. And symptoms of death that we talked about, if we are not in love with Almighty or with His creation, or we are not serving the Gurmukh Pyare, the one those who are walking on His path. So then we need to think about it. And if we are able to recognize our symptoms, then who will help us? Les Kabir ji also says, Gurbani again and again says, Aisi marni jo mare, bahur na marna hoye. What kind of death is about? Sat Sangat will help us. It may take some time, but then only we can be one with the Lord by walking on the path. Not about listening about the path, not just about talking about the path, but it's about the one who can walk on the path, and not just thinking about in how many days or time I'll able to do it. Surrender ourselves, live on the Lord, and then happily we can say, Safal, Safal, Pai Safal Jatra. So this journey will become fruitful, successful. It's possible if we don't forget Lord. So physically death automatically going to happen. Spiritually life, we need to put some efforts, but by the end, it will happen by His grace. As we always says, Rahmat ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਿਹਨਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ. So the one who work hard, they'll able to get attain the grace of the Lord, or we can say grace is always there. We just need to put some efforts, then everything is possible. So now I request you all, definitely still there are some more aspects of life and death and how and what can we do, but still I request you, if you have something in your mind, what do you think about spiritually death, or are we really alive, or what do you think, should we need to work on those things, or how can we work on those things, and how can we recognize, are we really walking on this path? So what are your ideas, what are your suggestions, what are you getting in your mind from His grace? So don't keep it with yourself. Kindly share your point of view with all of us so that we all can get some benefit. So now request you all, kindly share, kindly contribute in today's talk. Thank you very much once again for giving your precious time. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh. Hanji Sat Sangat ji. Anyone who would like to talk, or what do you think, like how can we walk on this path and how much time do we need? Hanji Harcharan ji, you are on mute.
Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Fateh ji, Master ji.
Khalsa, Vaheguru Fateh Harcharan ji.
My dear friend, I want to ask before I give my comments, what is this Bara Vare Garbas? Well, this is by Gurdas Vara. This is not to do with Gurbani, right?
Yes, in Bhai Gurdas ji's Varas Gurbani. Hanji.
What is the exit saying? He said, what is it? He said Sukhdev took 12 years to get spiritual wisdom, is it?
No, here is mentioning about it. It took 12 years of satsangat, 12 years of practice, 12 years of doing righteousness, and then he was able to recognize that thing. So he was able to know about the spiritual life after working for 12 years. So it's about Pai Gurdach is telling us how Sukhdev was able to do it in how many years. So
Yeah.
sometimes in interpretation we just think like, or sometimes we read like 12 baras garbhas, like which means his mother was pregnant for 12 years. So actually it's
Yeah.
not about that mother. Another mother is satsang, as from another mother, like human body arises from satsang, a saint arises. So saintness, the goodness arises from sad sangat. So sad sangat is also mentioned as a mother.
Okay. Thank you. I want. I think, Masterji, I think once and makes up his mind with Guru's kirpa and is able to shed all his ego, shed his vikar. I think the main thing is vikar here. If man is able to shed his vikar, that's the main thing. I think vikar आदमी छड़ दवे. मैं कोई पक्का मन बना लवे भी मैं हुन परमात्मा दे ना जुड़ना ए मनो कर दे. I think that he's already there. I think
Already there, but sometimes it becomes so difficult because
yeah,
we also love to.
there's a lot of difficulties. Difficult. I mean, any it takes a minute for a saint to become a crook, and for a crook to become a saint, it takes only a second.
Yes, exactly. Like Guruji went to like Sajjan Ji and Malik
Yeah.
Pago. So just one Shabbat, just few minutes, and they were able to change their life. And we are listening, understanding Gurbani from years. Like
Yeah.
different examples. Some took years, some took just minutes. But at
Yeah.
least,
And I think
yeah, yes.
sorry,
Can
Guru
you
Amar
please?
Das Ji, when
Hanji.
he did, when he heard Sabad, he was asked Guru Gurbani for the first time in his life, and he found so much of peace in his mind after hearing Gurbani being recited. Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Bani was recited by Bibi Amro, is it?
Vidya Amroji. Yes.
And he was so mesmerized, and he told Vijay to take me immediately to the place where Bani is, who his Guru is, And I think that particular moment he is already changed. He's already achieved it. That although he had to do seva for 12 years, but that was a moment that he has really achieved it. As I say, it takes only a moment for a man to change his habit. As you say, if you want to go to a certain place, you sit in your. It's not easy as that, but that's an example. You want to go to Singapore now. I just sit in my car and make up my mind, and I want to go, and I'll go there. I'll reach there. But I mean, it's not
Yes.
as easy as what I've just said. The spiritual part is much more difficult, much more subtle. And I think if you are on this path for many years, and with Guru's grace, you do realize that if you want to, I have made up mind now. Yes, I want to do this. Sela marna hoye. Jaisi marne je mare. Sela marna hoye. So if you want to decide that you want to do this, and I think that is the key. Of course, Satsangat will be helping you all these years if you're doing Satsangat, and if you're seriously doing Satsangat, and you have been treating everybody equally with love, great, and there's not much change in you. You're still the same person. Only thing your mind has changed. You're a changed man. You look at that person. The person is same. Whom are we looking at? Is the same person. But you are much more quiet now. You just tell him, you just take it on face value. All right, God, thank you very much. How are you? But that was all. You don't say anything much to him. That's it. It's you yourself. Thank
Exactly.
you.
Thank you very much, Archaran ji, for your inputs. Thank you, ji. Hanji, any other Sangat member ji, please don't be shy. What do you think about it? So kindly share. Hanji. Hanji Hardeep ji.
It's quite difficult to express some things here today. But I think physical death, mostly everyone knows, will come one day and we cannot escape it. But how we are going to live our life towards that point, maybe that is what we need to think. And I think as Bani is telling us, that we must connect with Waheguru. And that is left to us to do. Internally, we must connect with Waheguru. So that is important and we need to do it. But I just, one token that I'm thinking of here is Jo Upjo So Bin Se, Paro Aaj Ke Kaal, Nanak Har Gun Gaye Le, Shad Sagal Janjal. Par ਇਹ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਜੰਜਾਲ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡਣਾ ਵੀ ਔਖਾ ਹੀ ਆ.
Exactly.
So we, I think, yeah, we tend to be connected with worldly things rather than being connected with Almighty. That's how I feel. It is difficult, and I know that we have to face death, but we don't know how, when, where. But Bani teaches us that this is inevitable. Do not fear death. Thank you. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you very much. Very beautiful. In few lines, you shared a lot of things with all of us and a lot of wisdom. Thank you. Really appreciate your inputs. Hanji Pal Ji.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh Ji. Asabi Othe Jana. I think that beautiful Shabad that we always hear and we sing when someone passes on, that I also have to go. Asabi Othe Jana. We all have to go. And I think this discussion, Jari Bana Sal Di Ho Rahi Si na, it reminded me of another beautiful Shabad. And listening to all your beautiful katha and the comments by all the speakers before you, I remembered another second important Shabad which will give us the answer how we can escape these problems of spiritual, not having good spiritual life and coming through to death easily. But pehle jehde 12 saal di gal kar liye na, I think Gurbani has a shabad that says 12 bars balpan bite, 20 bars kach tap na kiyo, 30 bars kach dev na puja, fir pachtauna bird peyo. That the first 12 years of our life, this is the story of every human being. For 12 years, we are just a child and we are passing our years in childhood. 20 bars kach tap na kiyo, then the next 20 years, we do not practice any kind of self-discipline or austerity or any kind of spiritual practices. Then 30 bars Kach Devana Puja. Another 30 years will pass. So far, total 12 plus 20 plus 30, if my maths is correct. We are talking about you're already 62 years old. Fir pachtana bird peo. Then you and I will regret. Hun 62 de buddhe ho gaye. Tai Guruji kende meri karte janam gyo. All our life we are crying. This is mine, that is mine. Shayar sug bhujang baleo. But now at 62, all our power is gone. Suke server pal bandave lune khet hatwar kare. Guruji says now we have got no more power within. All our physical power is also ending. How are we going to develop that spiritual energies? And when the thief of death comes, the thief of death is not going to knock on our door and says take another 30 years, take another 20 years, take even another 10 months or 10 minutes. It is going to take us away. Our feet will tremble, our head will tremble, our hands will tremble. Charan sees kar kampan lage, and tears will flow from our eyes. We can't control it. Jehva bachan sud nahi nikse. Even our mouth can't speak, the tongue can't speak the correct words. What are we going to do about practicing spirituality and religion? And this Shabad says, Har jio kirpa kare live lage. Only if there is the blessings and the mercy of the Lord God Vaheguru, then laha har naam leo. Then we will start to chant the name of the Lord with that same tongue that when we grow old can't even speak words. And good prasadi har tan payo. We will get the wealth of Lord's name, because to go to any journey you need some kind of wealth. Dunyavi wealth won't go with you. Just to see Saki pehle suna chuke ho. But the wealth of the naam ante chaldiya naal chaleo. Jai maat pita sut meet na paive. No mother, no father, no brother, no kinsman. No one is going to go without naam tere sang sai. Only the wealth of naam that we collect is going to go with us. And that's why in this Shabad Shabad Kahat Kabir Suno Re Santo. Oh holy people, what am I trying to advise you? It is time I advise my own mind. Anatan Kachwe Lena Gyo. No other dunyavi wealth. I may be the most richest man in the world, but that riches of the world ain't going to go with me. I Talab Gopal Raiki Maya Mandar Chod Chalyo. All my wealth, all my mentions, everything that I've collected in this 60, 70, 80 years of my life are going to be left behind. So mera conclusion de vich ei benti hai, if you have time, go and study one Shabad. That Shabad that I'm going to share with you, bahut lamba Shabad hai, but it gives you the secret of how to have a wonderful living life and a spiritual, beautiful death. Because it says, Jo is mare soi sura. If you want to be a spiritual hero, Jo is mare soi pura. You will become the perfect being. Jo is mare tise vadiyai. You will get all kinds of greatness and glories. Jo is mare tiska dukh jai. All your pains, sorrows, sufferings will be taken away. And what is this mare? You got to kill something to have spiritual life. I repeat, Guruji says you got to kill something to have spiritual life. And what do we have to kill? Rahaudi Pankti says, Aisa koe je dubda mar gawave, isse mar raj jog kamave. If we can kill the duality that is keeping us away from God, if we can kill and cast away the duality within our minds, then we will reach that higher state of meditation, spirituality, and success. This Shabad is very long, but I give you the guarantee, if you understand this Shabad, you will kill your fear. You will be absorbed in the Naam. You will always have all your desires quenched. You will be approved in the court of the Lord. We will be wealthy and prosperous. We will be honorable. We will be wonderfully celibate. We will attain salvation, and our coming will be auspicious. We will become steady and wealthy. We will be very fortunate. We will remain aware and awake day and night. And Guruji says, most important, Jo is mare so jivan mukta. We shall achieve liberation even while we are alive. And the beautiful thing is, we will have a pure lifestyle. Spiritually wise, meditation will be always on our minds, body, and soul. And Guruji says, without killing this, one is not acceptable, even though one may perform millions of ritual chants and all kinds of karam dharm pakhand jo dise, is mari bin thaye na pare kot karam jap tap kare. So this Shabad is very long, but I've just shared with you the rewards. If we can kill our duality, if we can kill the love for duality, chances are we will become Jivan Mukat, because the second half of the Shabad is very negative. It says if you don't kill it, oh my God, you're going to stay in this cycle of reincarnation. If you don't kill it, you will never escape coming and dying and being born again. You will never be spiritual wise. You will never have impurities washed up. You will be filthy. You will lose this game of life. And without the Lord Vaheguruji's Kirpa, that mercy, we cannot release duality and obtain perfection. So in the last lines, Guruji kehndे ne gur dubda jaki hai mari kaho nanak so param vichari. Please discuss this Shabad in your own free time. One, that person, those people who have killed their duality with the grace of my Guruji, they only remember God all the time. They get released from the cycle of lives and deaths. They attain total perfection. They attain Jivan Mukti. So Ardas Kariye Vaheguruji, as we understood this lesson of life and death today and also last week, may we never have to come back again. May we all achieve Jivan Mukti, and every wise person who is listening to this lesson, because there could have been millions of things we could have been doing at this time on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon, but jo Sangat which aa chuke ne on this Zoom Sangat, may we all achieve Jivan Mukti, salvation while we are alive, become such Khandwasi, Begumpura Wasi, taaki fir dobara nahi aana pega. Bhulla chuka di maafi. Thank you for your time to share. Sahi pyare melo jina milya aap ji da naam swas swas chitawe, nanak naam chardi kala tere paane sarbat da pala. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh ji.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you very much, Pal Ji. You always contribute and you always share more Gurbani Pankti and try to elaborate the topic. So we always like to listen to you. Thank you very much, Pal Ji. Hanji, any other Sangat member Ji who wants to share something or wants to add something or any Gurbani Pankti related to our topic or any experience, even if you have any personal experience that you would like to share with all of us, so don't be shy. Hanji. Any other Sangat member ji? Okay ji. Thank you very much once again, everyone, for joining and giving your precious time. Now I request you all kindly unmute yourself so that we all can say Gur Fateh together. So kindly unmute and let's say together, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa,
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh ji. Thank you, ji.
Thank you very much.